I'm a sort of a poet, but that means a lot of different things to me. That means that not only do you write something called poetry, but that you live something called life.
Oh, I love it.
I like college kids because I think it's difficult these days to be in college. I think that the task of the 70s is very different from the task of the 50s or the 40s or the 60s, that we don't have the mass movements that we once had. You know, we have a personal situation, and the community and the nation are requiring personal decisions. Young college men had to decide whether or not they chose to fight a war in Vietnam. Young black students had to decide whether or not they would choose to hack it at a white university and get the skills that are necessary to bring back to the community. These are lonely
I don't know that
decisions.
I've ever faced discrimination as a woman as yet. And I think that's because the racial situation in America makes most black women face discrimination as black.
I don't think that the movement is as relevant to the needs of poor women and minority women as it should be, probably because the movement is mostly composed of middle-class women who are naturally concerned with the issues that affect their lives.
I mean, when we look at the history of slavery, we have a whole situation where no one cared if you were a woman or not. You had to get out into the field. Or after freedom, no one cared whether you were a woman or not. You had to work to support your family. So black women, that's one of the problems that Women's Lib has, I think, in relating to the black woman. They look at themselves as women, but we've had to look at ourselves as black. Our kids are being taught that they are poor, that they are deprived. I think that it's unfair, because I was, I'm sure, as poor as anybody else is poor today, but nobody taught that to me. Nobody taught deprivation to me. Nobody convinced me that I did not have the tools necessary to survive in the world. Everybody said, well, you know, so you have an outdoor toilet. Everybody's got an outdoor toilet, you know. So what? You still have to achieve. And I regret the way that our youngsters are being taught that they cannot achieve because of an external situation and therefore should not. It's made junkies out of half the community. I'm concerned about our youngsters because we are preaching despair, and I resent it.
I mean, you're a student like anybody else, man. And what you should do is graduate, because whether you graduate from the top of your class or the bottom of your class, but you one thing, you graduated. And that's all that's going to matter, you know. And when you get out into the world, you're either going to do something or you ain't going to do nothing, right? And that's up to you. That has nothing to do with the degree. But if you're going to sit here for 4 years, you ought to get that sheepskin.
They're looking for what is happening in the world. Am I unusual? Is it odd that I have these feelings that I would like to try this, that, or the other? And I think that one of my responsibilities is to give support to what I know is not an easy situation, to say, well, yes, you know, we do need doctors, and it will be 8 years, but it will be nice if you are a living entity, which means that it must expand its wings, you know, it must fly.
I used to dream militant dreams of taking over America to show these white folks how it should be done. I used to dream radical dreams of blowing everyone away with my perceptive powers of correct analysis. I even used to think I'd be the one to stop the riot and negotiate the peace. Then I awoke and dug that if I dreamed natural dreams of being a natural woman, doing what a woman does when she is natural, I would have a revolution. I'm really concerned about the quality of life. I don't know, you know, I have a little nephew who's 14, and I just don't know what's in his head. Because I can't even tell him words like, you know, honor and duty. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't know what I'm talking about. What is wrong? What is wrong with you? I told him once that I wanted him to be the first black governor of Ohio. And his immediate reaction was, well, shoot, I don't want to get killed. That's what he said. You know, and that's kind of sad to me that, you know, something like service, because I believe in service. I think that for black people, it's going to be the only thing that's going to get us over. No, because folks run them games on you. If you wasn't capable, you wouldn't be here. Folks are not nice. There's nobody on earth that does a favor to anybody. I mean, you check it out. Folks are always telling you they're doing favors, but they're not doing favors. Folks don't have time to do favors. There's so many capable people.
I think that everybody's entitled to his own lifestyle, you know. People always say, well, how come you didn't get married? Because I didn't want to. That's how come I didn't get married. And I didn't have to. And I didn't. That's how come. Because I'm because myself. I have chosen the lifestyle that I lead, and it suits my personality. I don't try to sell it. You understand? I wouldn't try to push it off on anybody, but it suits me. And I think that that's all a lifestyle should do. It should suit you. It's your life.